Hi, Sandra here from createinspain. Glad you're joining me today. I hope you're having a lovely day. I'm going to start off today's card with a front panel. It's just a lightweight card, nothing particularly heavy. And I have a stencil here. This stencil, I will show you where you can find a link to it later on. And it's been used before. But I'm just going to put it over my card now. I have some temporary adhesive on the back of it to help it stick down. I've put my card on some white paper, but I'm not going to put the stencil straight. I'm going to skew it like so. And I'm going to use some colours that I generally don't use that much of to start doing this. I have some kitchen towel and I have my brushes ready. I'm going to start off. Cap just shot off my desk, behind the desk and onto the floor. Behind other things that I've got on the floor, so I'm going to have to move loads of stuff to find it later. Typical. I'm going to start off with a yellow. And I'm going to be going around the edges of the card with that. I'm actually going to be putting deeper colours in the centre this time. Quite often it's the other way round, but I'm going to be putting a deep red in the middle to provide a reasonable amount of contrast. So that's a little bit of the yellow. I'm going to go in with Cantaloupe, and since that is a similar colour, it's going to be a subtle change. And then I'm going to go in with Love Letter, which is going to be very bright in comparison. So cap that, and I'm just going to check to see if I've got the effect that I want. Yep, that will do fine. So that's the front panel done. And I'm just going to go find the top for that before it dries out. Okay, it didn't take me too long to find it, thankfully. Now, this is the card base, and unusually I've actually penned the sentiment in the left side of it. And I cut it out like that on my mat on the silver bullet. So I need to be careful when I put this together that I don't put that on the outside, because you know you generally have sentiments on the outside and add interior ones later with a stamp or something. So I've got to make sure I don't do anything too drastic. The pen I used for this particular card is, what is it? It's one of my Voyages. It's a Pentel K108 hybrid roller. It's just a gold ballpoint. And I put that in my silver bullet and used it to do the writing. So, to be queen for the day. Now, I need to put this onto my card front. And I have a sentiment to go on as well. And if I show you, my sentiment is on here. Now this is a trick. Just my ink pad's fallen over. This is a trick that I developed for making sure that I can actually peel off my item from a very sticky mat. I did this originally on my mat, and my mat is pretty sticky, but you may or may not be able to see on camera, I don't know if it shows up, I actually did some embossing. So I embossed the letters and then I went over them with the pen, and I embossed a little inset line on here as well with my embossing tool. And because I did that at high pressure, which is fine, it gives a great result, it made it stick to my mat so hard I couldn't peel it off without destroying it. So the easiest way of avoiding that, if you need to do something similar, is to put a piece of acetate under it, put temporary adhesive under the item that you want to do, and then you'll be able to peel it off easily because the temporary adhesive won't stick permanently to the plastic. So that's how I did that. And I'm going to have this on the front here, so that will be the front of the card. Quite pretty, nothing too drastic, just a pretty little card. I'm wondering, however, if I want to do some extra colour on the edges there, and I think perhaps I do. So take that, put it to one side and get my brush out, make sure I haven't got anything I don't want on the brush because I haven't got them labelled for colour. And I'm going to go in with the love letter again and tamp it off there. I'm just going to put a nice rosy glow to the edge of this front panel. So I want to put that on my card, make sure it's the right way. My frame here. Put that in there. Put that in there. And here's my sentiment to go in the centre there. The question is whether I will raise it. I don't think I will raise it actually because it's embossed. It actually looks sort of nicely raised anyway. It's just got a luxury look to it regardless. So I won't bother putting it up on foam pads. There we are. So the front is done. I think that looks really pretty. Right, the inside of it is going to be not quite as subtle. I have this nice jaggedy sort of pointed star type thing here, and I think that'll go just about there. Now I've used a vinyl, a self-adhesive foil, whatever you like to call it, simply to avoid any extra bulk. If you wanted to, of course, you could actually use her as a pop-up using a strap, or indeed you could put this and her on a completely separate layer and put that as a pop-up in its entirety. So here is the finished card. On your birthday, you must get ready to be queen for the day. I think that's a fun card to give someone. Now, bear in mind, if you're going to do this on the inside of a card, make sure you're intending to put a front panel on, otherwise you'll have the pressure from the pen possibly, or even pen leakage depending on the card that you've used, going through to the front. If it's a very thick card you probably won't have a problem, but if you've got a thinner card you may well do. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll have a look at some of the other videos that I'm going to show you here. The file for the stencil will be linked below, as will the entire design. Take care. See you soon.